Hi YouTube, this is the review of the Elelife 12,000 gallon per hour pond pump. Like it's in the name, it's rated for 1,200 gallons. Although online on through Amazon in the affiliate link below, it says that it's 1,200,000 gallons. But if you look at the box itself, it says that it is 22,000 gallons. So there's a little bit of a misprint going on. I'm not sure which one is which. But out of full transparency, this pump was given to me by Elelife. But this review will be entirely. I'll try to make this unbiased as possible, giving you the pros and cons of what I think about this pond pump. All right, so let's take a look at what's inside the box. There's another box inside the box, so it's nice and double boxed, which is normally a good thing because the last couple things I got from Elelife, which were the actual RDF filters, were not well packaged. So this one is double boxed, which is nice. Doesn't look like there's any damage in shipping that I had compared to the old ones or the RDF filters. Alright, and it looks like it's well tested. Here's the ECG. Alright, it does say the model number is 2200A, CEF 2200A. Make sure you can see that. And the output of this, here, let me bring this closer. The output of this is 95 watts. The H max, which I assume is the lift, is 2.6 meters. Again, which is slightly different from what it shows on the Amazon listing. I believe the Amazon listing says 17 feet, and that doesn't convert to 2.6 meters. Output is 2,200 liters per hour. So there's some conversion there that didn't work out. On the box it says gallons per hour. On the actual unit it says liters per hour. And in the Amazon listing it says 12,000 gallons per hour, which I guess is closer to the liters per hour, but I still don't think that matches up correct. But it looks like a nice pump actually. It reminds me a little bit of the sump pump that I have from that I currently use. So there's the strainer is fairly decent size. At the bottom there's another strainer for it, so it's protection. From what I can tell, it looks like a plastic blade. Actually, can't really see it. It's hard to see. And the top is a twist off. Looks like a 2-inch. It looks like a 2-inch elbow rigger. And then this goes into a 2-inch there. This second part is screwed on, and the rest is screwed on to the bottom. So there's a line with a little sticker that says lowest water level, so you can't have a water level because the pump impeller probably sits right on here. I'm going to give it a shot, but I'm a little bit skeptical on how much, if it's going to reach its rated throughput with water, because I have other pumps that are, with much larger brand name, and they, on the sticker, they probably pull in double the watts, yet they only do 1/3 of the rated throughput. Meaning my external pump that runs my pond right now is rated for 3,000 gallons at 0 lift, right? And this one says it's rated, depending on which one you look at, it says up to 22,000 gallons per hour with zero lift, which would be 8 times the amount, which I highly doubt that this really does that. It's probably, but we'll take a look. We'll see. I don't want to, bias this in any way. Let's actually put it in the water and see what it does. But it looks like it's fairly well built. I'm not sure if you can see. I don't have a screwdriver here, but the body is uniformly plastic. It's not super heavy. It looks like this one like flange here does come off with a screw, and looks fairly decently built. Again, the body's plastic. There's definitely some heft to it. It's not super light, and it's IPX8 rated, which I hope so, because it's supposed to be completely submerged. So let's see how it goes. All right. Okay, I was able to get the screw off and bring the top off right here. So you can kind of see what's kind of inside. So there's the impeller inside with the motor. One thing I do like is that they include a really long cord. It's probably close to 20 feet, maybe longer, but that's really nice, and it's a nice thick gauge cord. So that's a nice high quality. I have some other pumps that are, they only include like a 6-foot cord, which is kind of, not the best. So it's cool that they have a nice long cord. The other thing I found out, I was able to pull the specs. And so this is the CEF 2200A, which you can see is rated at 95 watts and 2200 liters per hour at a 2.6 meter lift. And the hose adapter. So the hose adapter is a little bit off, so it doesn't fit a normal schedule 40 2-inch pipe. You see, here's one right here. You can kind of tell this is a 2-inch pipe that you can get from Home Depot, standard schedule 40, and it doesn't fit. Right? This is a little bit too big, and it's too big, and it's not big enough for a 3-inch either. So, but what I did notice is that if you take just the connector pipes, so if you pick a standard connector, with a little bit of, it does fit inside. So if you did need to extend this or like have it go in a different direction, you can. It does look like it's possible to extend it using a standard connector, where instead of going on the inside where you normally put a pipe, it actually goes on the outside, which is nice. I'm glad, so if you needed to pipe it somewhere, you could do that with this. You could continue the connection. So yeah, that part's nice. And looking at the interior build quality of this motor, I don't know if you can see that, but it looks pretty decent. It's on the, but it's decent size for 95 watts. I want to see the efficiency of it. I'll throw this in the pool and let you guys see what it can actually output. But so far so good. I'm really actually happy that this really fits in, because it lets you do a lot more once you can have a connector in this for this pump. Because now I can use it for the amount of places it allows me to put it in is much more flexible with this connector. Oh, and here's a look at the bottom and the strainer part of it. It looks like there's about 3 inches of give of these slits each all the way around. So it's definitely, it raises the height, but it's also a good amount. And then also on the bottom there's grates for that, and it is removable. I see if you can see, there's 4 screw holes there. So for some reason, if you needed to take it out or clean it or something like that, or something got stuck inside, they are removable. Although I wouldn't want to remove it very often, because you never know if you could induce a leak or something like that. But yeah, so far so good. These screws here, they look like they're stainless steel, which I really hope they would be, because you wouldn't want a normal zinc screw, because they would rust. So, but yeah, and here's the water level that I was talking about previously. So the lowest water level is right here. And then there's an automatic shut off. I haven't tried it yet, but we'll give it a shot and see how it works. All right. So here's the pump in my pool. It's a little too cold to do things to change the stuff up in my pond right now. So I'm just gonna show you how it works in the pool. It's at a step at about maybe 1.5 feet deep right now. So there shouldn't be a whole lot of lift. Maybe it's about 5 or 6 inches of lift right here. So this should be very close to its maximum output. One thing I did like, I made a mistake. I said it was a 20-foot cord. It's probably closer to a 30-foot cord, which is even better. This cord that they include here is quite long. So let's plug it in and let's see what it looks like. So just adding this elbow definitely puts some force to the back, so it likes to tip over. But this is what it looks like. Not too bad. There's definitely got some power to it, and that's what it looks like with it off. Right, so it's definitely got some push to that thing. Here, let me get from a top view of what it looks like. It's kind of nice of being just how it just kind of spins things up like that. But it looks like the radius of this dome is about 4 to 5 feet, 3 or 4 feet, around there. Let's stick this back on. And that's the kind of flow rate you get. It's not as powerful. I can already tell that there's not as powerful as my external 3,000 gallon per hour pump. So it definitely does not have 12,000 gallons per hour flow rate. If I had to guess, it's probably closer to 2,000 to 1,500. But it's decently powerful, as you can see. I mean, it's not like it's nothing, but it doesn't work. It doesn't defy the laws of physics either, and do 22,000 gallons per hour from 95 watts. We're probably looking at around 2,000, maybe a little less, for 95 watts, which is actually still pretty good. 2,000 watts for 95 watts. Sorry, 2,000 gallons for 95 watts is actually pretty decent. All right, now it's going to be time to try the auto shut-off feature to see if the water level gets too low, does it automatically shut itself off? So let's give this a try. Well, that part's pretty cool. The lowest water line is supposed to be here, but it still works when it's the water level is even lower than that. Right? The water level is about where my finger is, and the line for lowest water level is right here. So let's see if it shuts itself off if I raise it even higher. Nope, that didn't work. Auto shut-off's not working. Yep. Alright guys, here is my handy dandy kilowatt plugged into the pump, and it is doing a consistent 104 watts, so pretty much on par with what its spec rating, which is 95, so a couple watts more, a few more, but 8 watts more, 9 watts more. Not a big deal, but it takes about 104 watts at zero load. You can see it's at it's pumping right there, so that's the 104 watts through the kilowatt meter here. So pretty good. You know, the fact that it's a little bit over is not that big of a deal. Most pumps actually are slightly over, so it's consistent with what I've seen in other pumps. And price throughput per watt is actually fairly good. All right, so final thoughts on the Elelife 12,000 liter per hour pond pump. It's pretty decent. It's pretty good. Like it, you know, the pros are: one, it's got a nice long cable. Two, it's got a pretty good efficiency ratio, meaning, you know, and it's my guess, of course, but it's about, you know, 17 to 1800 gallons per hour from 105 or 104 watts, as you saw in the kilowatt meter. So it's pretty good on the efficiency portion of it. And you know, the one negative, which, you know, I really wish it had, was an auto shut off for low water levels. It does not. You saw that in the review. You know, took it out twice, didn't shut off. You know, that would potentially, like, if the water level got too low, it would just keep running and burn out the engine or the motor. So, you know, that's kind of an issue. So for this use case of, if you have a use case of it being always underwater and never having to worry about it getting too low, then this is the pump for you. All right, hopefully you enjoyed the video and the review, found it useful. Thank you for the support of the channel, and links are in the description below. Thanks all, bye-bye.